everybody, this is Pam, and V is behind the camera today.
Hey guys.
And we are the Kindred Vegans. And what I am going to make for y'all today is a shepherd's pie, but I'm going to put a little bit of a twist on it. And we'll see how it turns out. This is going to be 50-50 compliant, and my base is going to be all vegetables, and you'll see that here in a minute. And then instead of topping it with like a mashed potato like my mom used to make, we're going to do a smashed potato that I like, which gives the option to have as much or as little as you want. That way you can balance out the veggies and the potato part. And I love my smashed potatoes.
So like a deconstructed shepherd's pie.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And like my kids, if they want more, they can have more potato. And me, I want a little bit less to balance it out. I can have less. So the first thing I am going to do is I have washed these red potatoes, and I'm just going to cut them in half and get them going in some water. And we're going to cook these on the stove. Just bring them up to a simmer and let them simmer until they're fork tender. You want them pretty tender because what we're going to do when they're done is we are going to kind of smash them and add some seasoning to them. And here, I can tell you about the seasoning that I have. I've made my own seasoning for my smashed potatoes and for a lot of veggies. I put it on a lot of stuff. And it is, I have half a tablespoon of salt, a half a tablespoon of pepper, a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And I have that right here, and I keep it mixed up, and I keep it right beside my stove so that I can add it to things. And I love that on these smashed potatoes. And you can see in here, I just have water, and it's just to cover the potatoes. I'm going to bring them up to a boil, then turn it back to a simmer, and let them simmer for probably 10 or 15 minutes until they are fork tender. So I'm going to get these going, and then we will start with the vegetables. All right, everyone, now we're going to work on the vegetable part of the shepherd's pie. I was just telling V, I feel like I'm talking really fast today. So I'm just going to add some vegetable broth. I have a quart here. And I may use the whole thing. We'll see. I have 3 celery spears and 2 carrots diced up. And then I have a whole onion diced. Let me get it all out here. And we're going to bring this up to a simmer. And once it's simmering, I'm going to put the lid on it and let it cook for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then we will go ahead and add the rest of the vegetables and the seasonings. I wanted to say something while this is coming up to a boil. My vegetable broth this is a huge money saver, and also I know exactly what's in my vegetable broth. Whenever I cut up onion, carrots, celery, anything, any vegetable, I wash it really well first, and then I take the peel or the ends and the bits that you don't put into your dish, and I put them in a container in the freezer, and I have them there. So when I want broth, I take out my pressure cooker, and I put about 1 gallon of water in, and I will add a gallon bag or a gallon container of vegetable scraps, frozen vegetable scraps. I will turn on the pressure onto high, and I will pressure cook it for 2 hours, strain it out, and I have my vegetable broth. And it works so well, and it's such a huge time saver. A friend gave me this tip, I want to say 15 years ago, and I've just been doing it ever since, because it costs a lot when you buy vegetable broth by the quart in the grocery store. You know, especially if you're getting organic, it costs a lot.
Yeah.
And this way I know exactly what's in it. I put in the broccoli ends or the cauliflower ends. I put in tomato ends that I don't use. Just any vegetable scrap. If it's a squash, if I'm cooking squash or sweet potato, I'll take those peels or the cores or whatever. And it's delicious, and yeah. And I know what's in it, so I know that it's good for me. No salt. I don't add salt or anything like that to my broth. Okay, this is coming up to a boil now. So what I'm going to do is cover it. And I am going to let this just simmer. Turn it back just a little. I'm going to let this simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we'll add some more vegetables. So we will be back. Okay, our carrots and our celery and onion are looking good here. So I'm going to add just broccoli and cauliflower. And let me tell you, this is the recipe where I usually use up my leftovers, whatever I have in the refrigerator. If I have a zucchini, I'll throw that in. I had some already cooked cauliflower at home that had some seasoning on it. I was going to throw that in, but you know, I thought I'd do it right for V today. So.
Improvise.
So, but usually that's what I do is I look in my refrigerator for the vegetables that I have on hand and I will put them in here. And I see that my broth is getting a little bit low, so I'm going to add just a little bit more here. And I have about a half a cup of frozen corn and a half a cup of frozen peas. I'm going to go ahead and add those so they can be thawing and everything while the cauliflower and broccoli are cooking. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add about a teaspoon of salt and about a half a teaspoon of pepper. We can always add more later, but you know, I tell my kids you can't take it out once it's in there, but you can add more. And I am going to put in a couple of teaspoons of poultry seasoning because that just has such a nice flavor. And then V and I are trying out, we went ahead and bought some of these Cultivate Elevate. It's a new company that does kind of like a Four Sigmatic, except I think they're just coming on the scene.
Yeah.
And this is a 6-mix mushroom blend. And I'll tell you, I'm not a fan of the texture of mushrooms. So I've been adding just, it's a half a teaspoon per serving, so I'm going to add a whole teaspoon in here. I think mushrooms...
And their stuff is organic and it's also vegan.
Yeah.
So...
And so we're trying it out. If we like it, you know, we'll get you a coupon code or something. Yeah. But we're just trying it out now. I think mushrooms give a good richness to a dish, but I'm just not a fan of the texture. So I'm hoping this will be like a good alternative. I'm going to mix this in real quick. And then I'm going to put the lid back on, bring it back up to a simmer, and let it go.
So how long is it going to be cooking for?
This will probably take another 10 minutes right here. Yeah. Okay, it's all mixed up. I got my cover somewhere.
Back there.
Here's my lid. We're going to let that go for another 10 minutes and then we'll be back.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, the potatoes are cooked. And this is what I do to the, I'm going to do to the potatoes because we're going to have like smashed potatoes. I am going to, and this is another reason why I keep the skin on so that it kind of holds the potatoes together. We're just going to smash the potatoes a little bit. They're hot.
So you could just press them with a glass too.
I guess.
Yeah.
I just do it with a fork. And I'll do the rest of these in a minute. Let me do one more and then I'll show you what I add my seasoning, which I told you about the seasoning. And I'll put all the ingredients down below, so if you want this, you can make it yourself. And I just put a little on here, and it adds such a nice flavor. Oh, I can smell the garlic and onion powder. And it's got the nutritional yeast in there. It just adds a really nice flavor. And then I'm going to stick these in the oven at 375 for about 15 to 20 minutes until this top starts to turn a little brown and crispy and delicious. Yum. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these up and pop them in the oven and we will be back. All right, guys, so you can see my veggies are all cooked here and the potatoes are nice and brown and crispy on top. So what I am going to do is I have some vegetable broth and I have added about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch to it to make like a slurry. And then I'm going to add this. And I actually probably could have used less broth, and then we're going to stir this until it boils and gets thick, which might be a minute.
So the mushrooms, what do you think about the color?
I think the mushrooms darkened it down a lot.
Yeah.
You know, usually it has a lot lighter color because my broth is not that dark. And you can see here, this started with a full quart and I've got a cup left. So I've used 3 cups of broth in this. 2 in the cooking and then a cup for the slurry. But yes, the mushroom powder did darkened it up some. And I'm not going to add any more salt to it. I think it smells really good. It could probably use a little bit more salt, but I'm going to let people salt their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some people like it different than others. So, all right, you can see it's nice and thick now. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to plate up some. Here's the veggies. Let's go ahead and add some veggies. Yeah. And I have a spatula here because I know my potatoes are still hot. And because of the amount that's here, I'm just gonna put 2 and maybe a smaller one right here. There. And there is my deconstructed shepherd's pie.
It looks really good.
Yeah, and you can control what's in it, exactly what's in it.
Yep.
So that is it for today, guys. So if you like this, make sure you go down below and subscribe to our channel and hit that little notification bell so you know what's going on. If you want to join in the conversation, go catch us over on Facebook, and we're Kindred Vegans on Facebook, and on Instagram we're K-Vegans. We post a lot of pictures, behind the scene pics when we're cooking and stuff like that. So make sure you check us out on all the platforms, and of course go to kindredvegans.com for all of our recipes and a link to our shop so you can get your Kindred Vegan wear. So we will catch you all next time, guys. I hope you have a great day. Bye now.
Bye, guys.